Give it to me easy.
E.
With pleasured hand. Do you not know the song? Promised Land. Da-na-na-na. It's the time of the season for loving.
Where's the chippies?
Boom, boom, boom. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to American Groove.
Welcome.
Lost in the Groove segment, hosted by yours truly, Dave, and
your other host, Karissa. Welcome to American Groove. It's motherfucking Saturday. I was thinking about how we have not said the word fuck enough recently. Start strong, right?
We're like Batman. We're Batman, but on meth. That's the best way to explain it. We're meth Batman.
Happy Saturday, motherfuckers.
Happy Saturday, all you motherfuckers, including you non-binary people.
I feel like the reason that I'm using so much profanity is because it takes a lot of strength to navigate throughout this life. And sometimes it creates a tough individual that uses things, words like
fancy
that.
Words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like we're going into battle.
Because in other languages, there are curse words as well. But they are sometimes worse than what we say in English.
Whoa. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that.
See, that's a deeper level of high. It's another dimension of stoneness.
We have things to talk about today.
Yes, we do.
Look at how much weed I have. That's kind of cool.
Jesus Christ. Bless our Lord. Amen.
That's good. I used to have a lot more. I've used a lot of the weed. One of the first things that we were going to talk about is we were going to get on the podcast a little bit ago, but David said that he needed some coffee. So we were just going to talk about our love for coffee for a second. Ooh, and how it makes such a difference in our lives. It makes a big difference in my life.
So,
I drink coffee every fucking day. Every day I drink coffee.
We both do. But caffeine doesn't affect me. Caffeine has never affected me. So, yeah, I am not affected by caffeine. I can literally drink I've done this. I drank once a whole bottle of Coca-Cola, and I passed out in a half an hour. It turns out there are some people that are affected by caffeine, and it turns out some people are not. And I'm one of those that isn't. And I just like the caffeine for the buzz. I love that.
I mean, and the buzz doesn't like make you feel like awake.
No. Makes me tired, actually.
There are some people I've heard that like have like a reverse reaction with caffeine, and I've had that before where I've woken up and I wonder if I was just like too tired for the coffee to work or whatever, but I've had that where like I woke up, I drank some coffee, and I just like fall into a nap. And I thought maybe it's because the coffee was like too strong, but it's also because I have time to just lay around and fall into a nap. You know, there's that.
Well, it's really it becomes a part of the routine. You know, for most of us, a lot of us, including me and you, we both have jobs and schedules that we have to meet. And I mean, coffee is like one of those essentials that when you wake up in the morning, you got to get out, to go to work or go to school. And it's just the pick me up. It's like the many pick me ups that we do throughout our routines. I don't know, but my love of coffee is strong. But
I mean, I have a couple things to say about it.
Yes.
For me, coffee, it's like it's the first thing I put in my stomach every morning, and that's part of the reason that I put a lot of milk in my coffee, and a lot of people don't. But like, I don't drink milk, and I don't have a lot of dairy at all, so I intentionally tried to put more and more milk into my coffee because I know that it's not like really like detrimental for me. Like it's okay if I drink more of it. And so like, it's like my coffee really does have quite a lot of like cream or milk in it. And I know a lot of people do that with like tea in the morning. Like they'll have like a tea, like a warm tea, but put like a lot of creamer or milk in it. And like honestly, that's like the first thing that goes in my stomach.
I'm the
And
t-
I love it. Like
I'm
I'm
the
like
complete opposite. You know this. Like I put very little creamer in coffee, coffee creamer, I'm sorry, and milk into into my coffee, and it's just because I like the taste of strong coffee. I'm a person that's a dry wine kind of person. I like sometimes the taste of a bitterness, spiciness, or tanginess of a drink. Kind of how I was raised. I was raised in a Moroccan home. My dad made a lot of citrus drinks growing up. Um, Kind of the coffee that I drink now. My dad put very little milk in his coffee. So these are things you get
yeah.
used to. Again, customs and routines is kind of the thing about coffee, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of why I like started to shift towards the milk thing is because it was less acidic and it was less bitter and like my system really wasn't doing good with like heartburn, acidic like levels and so that
Oh,
was
I need
good
that
for
shit,
me.
honey. Bring on the heartburn. Bring the acidity. Fucking
I
bring all that shit up all the way through my throat. I'm ready.
think I
I'm
like
kidding.
am acidic. Like I think just like I don't know, we were talking about like blood types and like different things like that. Like I think like my system is just like I'm like the ocean.
The ocean. What
The
do you
ocean's
mean? What do you
very
mean? What do you mean you're like the ocean? Elaborate on this,
it's very
please.
acidic and there's like a lot of like acidic properties of the ocean and it like breaks things down and it's like it would like eat away your bones over time with like the flow of the
Well,
water.
okay. Well, the reason being because of the salt, right? I mean, salt.
I don't
Salt.
know, but I know that
No, no, no.
like
It is because salt is one of those. For example, salt water. The reason why salt water is very different than sweet water, especially when you're talking about growing things, because you can grow things in salt water. For example, like seaweed, and it's really amazing on how like water is a great metaphor of how things can be different in life and be taken in different dosages. You know, you can make different choices, and from those choices, you get different effects. You know, the whole idea of like, and again, I'm making a whole wormhole of this, but in the end of the day, like the primary example of coffee just boils down to the idea of we got to survive. So this is something that we've learned
I
to
know.
incorporate into our lives to be able to survive in the morning because I don't like talking to people in the morning. I don't like when people are like, "Hi, Dave. Good morning." Bitch, get the fuck away from me. That's in my head, of course. I don't tell that to somebody.
I mean, I don't feel it depends on who it is. I don't feel that way. Just so nobody accuses me of being stupid and we can move on, I'm just going to say that the acidity level of the ocean is definitely a concern. So nobody can call me stupid. But moving on,
Yeah,
I
that's a real
believe
thing. And again,
that
and
yeah,
again,
it's a
just to
problem.
clarify on
So,
that, it's
yeah, I'm
because
like
of
the
the
ocean.
yes,
But anyways, in the morning, I feel my body is dependent on coffee. I don't have as
right,
much of the like I can't talk to people until I have coffee. It's more like my system is just so used to having that moment of like relaxation where I have like a warm drink and then in the summer, I don't know. I rely on the coffee a lot to like get me going. Like
right.
sometimes I'll have my coffee and I'll sit there. My coffee time is like 10 minutes. I'll sit there with Louis and I drink the coffee and I'm like, God, I feel so tired. And then I'm like, okay, but like eventually this coffee's going to kick in and I won't be able to sit still anymore. And that is kind of what I look for is like, okay, now that I can't sit still, what am I going to work on?
Well,
And I
my
feel
prime
like it's an addiction.
it is an addiction, and then, like I just have my primary fixes. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm addicted to substances 100%. Like my this is extremely unhealthy, but my daily dose is I wake up in the morning, I smoke about, okay, honey, get your hand off the marijuana. My cat is digging her hands in the weed.
Don't you
No,
dare tell me to take my hands off the marijuana.
it's okay. She's not old
I'm
enough to
rolling a
smoke yet.
joint.
No, um,
Uh, we're gonna talk about coffee, but just so that
no,
we
so
don't name the
hmm?
episode coffee, just so that we don't name the episode coffee, we're gonna
No.
name
The
the
name of the
episode Depression Cake,
cake.
and we will segue to Depression Cake at the end of the coffee part of this conversation here. We'll now move into Depression Cake, but right now we're talking about coffee.
We're gonna get into that a little bit in a little bit, but what I was talking about was like, for example, like with morning routine. So for me, my morning routine like consists of like I wake up in the morning now. I smoke about like a quarter. So I usually like leave a little bit off of the because I smoke about a gram of joint every night, and then I leave a little bit for the morning, and then I smoke that, and then I do my exercises um for my foot, because I had that injury. And once I do that, I just do my routine. I just get everything done. I make my coffee. I wait 30 minutes because I have a thing. There's
You're
a
so good. Look at you with your beautiful schedule. That's nice.
yeah, and okay, so this is something that okay. This cat.
I literally just drink coffee and sit there for 10 minutes. I don't do stretches and I just sit there.
No, well, I have to because like I've been going to physical therapy for the past 3 weeks, and it's been absolutely great. I mean, the the physical therapists that are there, they're really helpful. Uh, Gain back able to walk now. I can actually walk. I don't have physical mobility yet, which I'm working on,
Mhm.
but I can walk.
Yeah. I
So
mean, I hear
it's
you. You
great.
were looking for something around your apartment and you're actually able to walk around and look for it.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard, but it's you're able to look for something again. I was like, "Oh my god, David's functioning in more ways than he was."
I'm not a cripple anymore.
No.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm still crippled, but
I mean,
you
you
know
can
that
say that. You are and you were. Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's a great example of, you know, to each their own. Everyone is going to have their own way of how to heal. I will say for me, the best way that I've learned to heal was, you follow the steps to recovery. I know it's sometimes hard. You sometimes fall back, and it's okay. But I think that's important. Like whenever you're trying to make a process of getting to a goal, is got to stick to it. But if sometimes you mess up, it's okay.
Yeah,
Like we
people mess
beat our
up.
I know, and people beat themselves. Like I beat myself up all the time when
Yeah.
I like miss a day of doing my exercises. You know,
Yeah, there's still questions on
right,
exams that I'm if
right.
I would have known the answer to that. I that's not beyond my knowledge. I can't believe I got that wrong.
Hmm.
But yeah, you can't focus on that shit. You just try to get it right the next time, or hopefully everything else that you do right is good enough that it kind of balances out some of those mistakes. Therefore, you don't really have to focus on them as much as you might beat yourself up about it.
You
That's why
can
I'm
learn something from it.
it's what I'm trying to do with my life is I've made a lot of mistakes. And if I do enough right things, it might eventually balance that shit out. Uh,
It's a good way of thinking about it. I like that. It's a good
yeah.
attitude. It is. You have a really great and you have a really great attitude, especially like when you accomplish things, and like setting your mind. Because look, people that are listening to this, you only listen to us an hour, every week. But in our real lives, like the person that I look to for like inspiration, sometimes you know, or we find inspiration in ourselves. Um,
Yeah, I find a lot of stability out of just having you as a friend. I find a lot just being able to kind of
Oh,
run
that's
things
something we
past somebody, you know, like,
that's
well, what do
something
you think of this, you know?
that's something important, stability.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Um, I feel like, yeah, I mean, last night we, you know, people don't know, but like last night we were just like, we just both happened to be home at the same time.
Right.
There's nothing going on. I'm a little sick of watching TV. I'm like, you've called me. We both realize we're just sitting around doing nothing. And then we're on the phone and we both start cooking. This is something that happens a lot when we're on the phone. We're like, okay, it's food time. What are you making? Oh, what are you making? You know, and we start making food on the phone or whatever. And I put this big loaf of bread in the oven and I cooked this whole loaf of bread. And David was like, why didn't you just cook
Oh,
half of it?
I know. She cooked the whole loaf. I was like, just cut
I
a
was like,
slice.
because I was so
Just cut a
impressed with
slice.
myself having
Right.
the energy to put anything in the oven that I just put the whole fucking thing
Sorry.
in the oven, is what happened. So David is like, he's like, you know what, honey, you know what? I'm gonna bake a motherfucking chocolate cake. And I was like, okay. And he literally said, I have all the things you need. I'm just gonna do it.
And I did. I made a so hold on one sec.
Okay, so then I was like, okay, you're gonna make a cake, that's cool. And I was like, so yeah, like he makes his cake in like a little square pan. It's absolutely beautiful. But we're sitting there and he was like, oh shit, honey. He was like, what's a substitute for eggs? And I was like, nothing. And he was like, oh, there's gotta be something. And I was like, well, I mean, you can look up like a vegan recipe for a chocolate cake and see, but they might have like an actual like product that you need to buy as like a substitute. So he looks up a recipe to make a cake without
Eggs
eggs,
and sugar, yeah.
and he starts following the recipe not knowing that the actual title of the recipe is depression cake
Chocolate,
recipe.
yeah, chocolate depression cake. And it was just so funny because we just started balls out laughing.
Yeah, we were
Um
just like, he read it out loud and we were just like, oh my God! Like,
yeah, but like look, no disrespect to people that like went through the depression. It was a horrible time in American history, but it was a really great fucking cake, and it's a great option for people that are allergic to eggs or are sensitive to dairy. Um, I made it,
or
and it's
don't have enough money to
or
buy eggs. Yeah, don't have eggs in the fridge but still want cake. Yeah,
it's
depression
really
cake.
good.
It's a
It's
recipe. It's
really
out
good.
there.
It's really good. If you're like, I'm serious. If somebody like, if you're allergic to eggs, you're like dairy sensitive, um, I liked it, and it's
He
quick, and
ate it, so I don't have anything to say about it because I didn't eat it, you know?
you
So
should
he's all
totally
like,
make it
he's
too.
moved on from just how funny it was that it was called depression cake. He's actually experienced it, cooked
Yeah,
it, everything. Like,
everything, honey. And I did that I did that at 1:36 in the morning.
yeah, when did
1:36.
there was a moment where you were like, honey, and I was like, what? And you're like, I forgot to put the cake in the oven.
Oh my god, yeah. Exactly. I preheated the oven for 30 minutes, and the timer goes off. I go to check the cake, and the cake is on top of the oven. It was never put in the oven. So I had to put it back in the oven for another 30 minutes until it actually baked.
So then he stayed on the phone with me for like another 30
Another
minutes
30 minutes. Yeah.
while it baked. And then he was like, when it takes it out, I'm going to put this fucking cake in the refrigerator. Like he was like almost mad at it. But then he was like, oh, it's really good. Oh, it looks good. And I was like, yeah, it's really rewarding. And then, of course, I start going on about how someday I'm going to have a kitchen, David, and Louie's gonna lay there and we're gonna make Louie treats. And you were like, honey, I'm gonna make all these THC things. We're gonna make CBD shit for Louie. And then I was like, no, I don't want Louie to be drugged up.
He needs it. He fucking needs it, honey. He needs to go to fucking doggy dog world. That was dark.
I
But shoot.
rolled this joint. and it went
Yes.
out because I was talking so much. Now you were like not sure if you were gonna roll a joint or not.
I'm not going to smoke that much of this. I like my level of concentration right now. So,
Oh.
yeah, I'm not going to
Oh.
lie. Like, cannabis does have an effect on my concentration. Like, I do zone out and space out, but
Yeah, a lot of times when I do schoolwork or like I have class or like different stuff like that, I won't smoke like for a few hours
mm-mm.
before.
No, I usually like for conversation is great, like what we're doing now. Um, but I just today I just want to be a little bit more focused. So my eyes are, you could see here, okay, there,
Yeah.
not as bloodshot as they are usually are, but yeah,
Did you go to lunch with one of your friends?
I did. I went out to lunch with my neighbor, Alex and Wally. We went to Ocean One. They're really cool. They have where you can get a starter, a salad, a main or a sandwich or a dessert, and it's all $5.99. So you pick any one of those items. It's $6. Drinks are $3 unlimited. Alcohol
Wow.
three drinks is $11 for three until
What the
5.
fuck?
It's
That's
really good.
crazy.
And I got this is I got calamari, fried calamari, and you know this. We talked about this. Okay, anybody out here that's listening, okay, what is the number one problem that you have whenever we order fried calamari? It's too fucking chewy. It's too fucking chewy.
The
I
one
hate
time
it.
we didn't realize that we had a lemon until we had eaten all the calamari.
Oh my god, I know, and it would have helped.
Yeah, we wanted to squeeze that lemon on that calamari, but we didn't realize that there was a lemon
Totally
there.
forgot.
How the fuck it was like it like there was so much garnish there that
There
I didn't
was.
realize, and it was like charred. So it kind of like didn't look like a lemon or something. I don't know how I mean maybe we were just drunk, but we wasted the lemon and would have loved to squeeze the lemon on the calamari. It's a good memory.
It
I
is a good
have a hard
memory, but
time believing that you and I used to vacation. Like I'm like, is that reality?
we
Like
did. We vacationed once. Well, we vacationed several
once.
times. Now, but we went away to Santa Barbara 2 years ago.
We went on a
That,
vacation is what
that's where I
boggles
got.
me.
That's where I got this. Remember?
And your tattoo.
Yes, which is that one. Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. It was really fun because we when we went there, we decided we were going to be pretend to be bouge. That was our thing. The whole
We
weekend
were
we
rich
pretended to
people.
we were rich people. Yeah, exactly. And I went to a record store. I got a Marvin Gaye album. Uh, for any vinyl record collectors out here, it's sometimes really expensive to buy his shit, especially like early Prince. And we went to the beach. We took Louis. We went out to dinner. We had fried calamari out there. Um, that's where the story is from. The story is when we went away to Santa Barbara for a weekend, and it's kind of like a Friends episode. You remember that time the chewy calamari or some shit? I don't remember how they do the episodes. Like, remember that time?
Yeah, it's the calamari episode.
It's a
No, they do a
calamari
really good
episode.
job. Yeah. I feel like it was a good week this week. I don't know. I mean, it Friday was tough. Like I was like, thank God it's Friday because I feel like I've hit my limit with how much I am doing this week. But I did a lot and I am extremely tired. Like I have not been able to sleep, which is like not cool and not very Carissa. Like I usually get as much sleep as I need, but at this moment I can't really sleep on either side of my body. It's really obnoxious. Like I can't sleep on my right side. It hurts my shoulder, and on my left side it hurts my neck. So I don't really know what to do. I'm having a really, really hard time sleeping. I can fall asleep, but then when I wake up, I can't fall back asleep.
So I
Um,
move around. I move around a lot when I sleep, and I've been suffering. I suffer from insomnia due to PTSD. I get night terrors, I move around a lot, I have a very difficult time sleeping. So that's one of the one of the main reasons why I do smoke cannabis is for that reason specifically. That's how I'm able to sleep most nights. And I had the same. The thing about weed, and
I
we talked
know.
about this, it works differently for each person. So, like,
I
it's
used to
great.
wake up and smoke in the middle of the night, but,
Oh,
like, I don't wanna do that. Like,
mm-mm,
I
it's
used
not
to smoke to
healthy.
fall back asleep, and I mean, I don't care if it is or not, I don't wanna smoke to fall back asleep recently, and I can, but, like, there's just a big I don't know.
Okay,
It
so an
requires turning
idea.
on the lights, I guess
Okay,
is what I'm saying.
so an idea that I could recommend, which does take a little bit of work, you can make canna milk. So, if you have milk, you can infuse it with cannabis, and one of the many benefits is that if you drink that before you sleep, of course, if you have lactose intolerance, this is not going to be good, but it's a relaxer. I
That's
don't know if
cool. It's a cool
I don't know if you
idea.
knew that you can infuse milk with cannabis. I was blown away when I found out about this.
Well, I mean, what are you putting in the milk? What is it?
So you infuse it with cannabis, and the way that I saw that it
Yeah,
was
but, like,
done,
which cannabis?
they did it with a indica strain. I don't remember which one it was, but it was because I remember the milk turned like
Yeah, but what
almost like a.
form is it in?
Well, what you do is basically they basically take what's it called? Oh my god, my brain. They basically create canna oil. You could do this like in a crock pot. You basically kind of like kind of decarboxylate
They make
decar.
oil and then they mix the oil
No, no,
into
no,
the
no, no, no,
milk?
no, no. Okay, so what you do is you basically take the cannabis, you put it in a crock pot, you let it slowly cook. Okay, because the thing about cannabis to activate the THC, yeah, it does that with heat. The thing is that if you raise the heat too much, basically kills it out, but you have to do it slowly. So you use something like a crock pot. And then what you do is you take the milk. Now, here's the trick. And somebody told me you do this is you put it in and then you put it in the oven and you do it at a very low heat. I think it's like for several hours. And it infuses the milk with the cannabis. So it's not really a milk. I think at that point it would be more like a heavy cream, like a cream because of the way that you're
That's
mixing it.
cool.
But you could
Mm.
add it to a lot of different things. I have no idea where this conversation is going, but anyway, I thought that was something to
Sounds
throw
good.
out.
I was just talking about how, like,
Oh God, you're yawning.
I
I'm
it was
that
a
fucking boring that you're yawning.
I told you I'm tired as fuck.
I know,
Like,
honey.
I
I'm just
didn't
joking.
at the I mean, beginning of the week, Monday, I was up at 6 in the morning, and it's just been like that all fucking week. And now it's Saturday, and I woke up before the sun came up today and couldn't fall back asleep.
Twixie woke
And
me up. Twixie woke me up today
yeah,
at 7.
I'm supposed to go out tonight. I'm like, really? We're gonna go out tonight?
Yes, you're going out tonight, honey. You were. We talked about this yesterday. You're going out to a goth party, and it's black
Goth
only.
night.
So, yeah, that's the entire. Oof. Wish I was going.
I
Now I
know.
have.
I said I wanted you to go. Like, I was like, David, I'm going to goth night tomorrow night, and like,
I
it'd be
mean, I
so
got a
much
problem
fun if
because
you
my hair is
came.
green, so I don't know if they would allow me in there because I don't have black hair. I only have green hair.
I think
But
the green would be great. I think they would
with
like that a
black,
lot.
yeah,
Yeah, they would love the green hair.
I
Yeah,
did.
I worry that I don't look goth enough, but and I worry that I won't have a good time. Like, I don't really like the music and
Oh,
like
really? You don't like? You love the Ramones? Like the Ramones are.
yeah, but there's some band performing and I think they kind of suck. So I don't really know
Well,
what to say about that, but it'll be interesting to see something different and new. I don't know, something I haven't
well,
seen before.
I love punk rock. I like certain styles of punk rock. The thing I love the most and is surfer punk, just like ska, like surfer ska. punk kind of esque, it's just so fun because like like and you just like you just want to get up and just like dance and just be a part. That's the kind that I like, especially like when you're going to like a live venue. That's fun punk. It's so fun.
I dig it. There's a part of me that gets kind of like my biggest like problem with like the whole goth night is that
Sorry.
I I sometimes feel I know I passed my yawn on to you. We're feeling it.
No, I'm
I
tired too. We're both exhausted.
it sometimes seems like kind of very ego-y to like myself up or
Right.
for someone to dress themselves up so like gothy, like because like it gives off this like I'm so tough vibe, which was like the same thing where I was like happy Saturday motherfuckers, like it's like no like I mean maybe some people are like hard asses, but like it's interesting how like goth kind of gives off this like hard ass vibe, but then there's also this very like whiny, like oh poor me emotional side to it too. Like there's such a like wide spectrum. I don't know. I will wear some black shit, go dance. I like
The thing,
dancing, and I feel like they're not gonna have like dance music, so I'm just gonna stand around and have a drink.
not necessarily, because just like you said, there are different avenues of punk. The thing about punk is it's all
It's
about
not punk though. It's a goth club.
right. That's what I'm talking about, though. Is like specifically like with goth punk, which people don't get. Goth punk is is not as dark as people make it out to be. Like I've had friends that were into goth punk, and like there's sometimes I get into it. Like I just put it on my car. That's just what I'm listening to. But you're saying that like they're bringing in a band where like there's not going to be any dancing. That doesn't
I
sound
feel like
fun.
I don't know if it's that type of. I mean, maybe people are gonna like mosh around or
Do
something.
you
Like I'm like, okay, I don't know. It's just very like not my scene, but I know that like the people that I'm going with are people that I have fun with. So I need to just like be open and just kind of have a laid back time and just like go with the flow and see what happens. But it'll be I definitely feel a little strange, but I mean, there's nothing to do these
people are
days.
strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Jim Morrison. People are
It's
strange. The
also like a
Doors.
Saturday night that's like kind of entertaining, that's like somewhat affordable. Like, I don't know, it's a lot more affordable than Coachella.
Oh fuck Coachella. I was telling you that Black Flag, they have a concert out here in August. Um here in South Florida, and it's like $26. I'm gonna get a ticket on when I have my next paycheck. And I was just like so excited for that. I love like down here, and I know especially like in LA, you have those bands that are kind of like a niche, like they're famous, but they're kind of not famous, and they're like not super expensive to go see. So like it's like 20, 30, $40 a ticket. You go, there's no sitting, you just stand there, you listen to the band, you dance, you have fun.
I can't think of what the equivalent would be here, but yeah, you get to go see Black Flag.
Uh, yeah, I like their
Yeah.
music. I like their early shit. They're very fast. They're very they're the type of punk rock, but more punk rock edge.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I used to really enjoy dark shit, you know. I did like in general, like I really liked edgy, dark stuff. Like I really liked it. I liked black and I liked,
Hmm.
I liked the darkness.
I love
And
metal.
then
Do
yeah.
you like metal too? Like, is that
Yeah.
can you?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of like, I mean, my foundation of musical love comes from like from rock music, alternative rock. There's a lot of like older rock music that I like a lot. Like I said, I like Pearl Jam.
I love Pearl Jam. I like The Cure, Duran
I,
Duran,
there's all
Arithmetic.
kinds of stuff in the past, but like I'm saying,
Love it.
I mean, I like rock music. I like Led Zeppelin. Like, so then
Alice Cooper, Kiss,
it spreads out from there. I would say when it comes to like
Queen.
music in the 80s, like with music like you're talking about, like I listened to the Smiths and Morrissey, which I heard was apparently racist, and I was like, oh, so that didn't translate into the future, but it used to be the cool thing. And then I listened to the Clash and the Ramones,
Love the Ramones.
and a lot of darker music for me was My Chemical Romance,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like an old sad band called the Silverchair. They had a lot of sad music. I used to listen to Bright Eyes, had a lot of sad music. Coldplay and Radiohead had a lot of sad music that you could get sad to.
22, I think it's 22 Pilots,
It just
21
sounds
Pilots.
sad. Yeah. They're way
It
new compared to anything that I just mentioned, but
Well, it
yeah.
ties into like today's like overall theme of our idea of depression is very dark.
Depression.
Our idea of like harnessing and like being able to balance it is very strange because you have two sides. One screaming, no, you got to fix the problem with medication. You have other side that's screaming, no, you got to fix it with the alternative healing. But there's another side. The other side is what happens if it's just the way of like, can I give an example? I've been to metal concerts. Metal is intense. There's a lot of screaming and like yelling. But if you meet metal people, they're the sweetest, nicest, most loving people you'll ever meet in your life. Like if you hurt yourself, they will stop and pick you up. I've
Everybody's
seen
different.
everybody's different, but I'm just saying like the environment, the people that are attracted to that, yes, it's dark. Yes, it's depressing. Yes,
But
it's
yeah, it
violent.
doesn't mean that they're shitty people. I agree.
Exactly. Yes.
No, I don't think it means that they're shitty people at all.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you know who's a shitty person? Fucking shitty politicians.
Like, like, like.
Like I'm not gonna. I don't even fucking know. I don't watch politics. I'm just
I don't
saying, like
either.
somebody's like a fake piece of shit. I don't know. I think there's a lot of like fucking losers that hide behind um like this like tough image of like being like a metalhead or something. I'm like, no, dude, you have no taste and you just it's such a shitty thing to say. But I think that there's a lot of people that hide behind a lot of different images, and it's just like I think that there's a lot of people that try to like put themselves into categories or something like that.
Well, you bring a band that was coming
There's
from.
probably a lot of metalheads that are great. I don't know any that are bad, to be honest. I know a couple that have been shitty. Yeah, but that's just
Yes.
people. I mean, I don't think it's metal people.
One group that like comes to mind. You talking about like politicians and this shit. It's the Dead Kennedys. You know, Jello Biafra. He was you could Google this. They were an insane band. Okay, like absolutely insane, and their whole like thing was like a rebellion against the politicians. Like no joke, one of their covers of their albums, you can Google this, is so hilarious. It's like just a bunch of politicians, like on a little tiny little cars in a motorcade in a parade, like just driving down. It's fucking hilarious. Um, there are people that respond Gesundheit. There are people
Oh
Gesundheit.
God!
Honey, you get one more pass and then that's it. No more Gesundheits.
I don't think I've sneezed on the podcast before.
That's all right. It's a good thing. It's no more a bad thing. In the past, it used to be a bad thing. Now it's a good thing. But getting back to my point before my stone brain is like, David, you're going this way. Ah! Um, it's just like everybody has their own way of expressing their like form of rebellion if they want to. And when you have a group like this that expresses it through their own art form, I think it's just so fun. You know, it allows other people that have that feeling to now something that they can connect to. And I don't know, I just have a different take when it comes to things like this. That's all.
No, that's really good. I think that's a really, really good take. Yeah. I mean, it's a community, the goth community, you know? I don't know.
And the
I
punk community.
yeah, I mean people want identities for themselves, different stuff like that. I think it's fun to dress up. I like dressing up. I love there's that one TikTok of like goths like doing different things like in public. Like it was like two goths like in a canoe, and then their like canoe like breaks, and it's like goths at the beach, and like goths doing like funny things that are like very ungothic. I love that. I think it's like so cute and adorable.
Can we
Yeah.
talk about the elephant in the room where so Louis, which is your dog, is named after a character who's a vampire in a movie. And I always loved that because I remember when you were talking about his name, I was like, Louis. I was like, what is that? And you were like, it's from a movie. And I'm like, what movie? And then I watched the movie. I was like, whoa. And then I totally understood. What was that name of the
Yeah.
movie?
Interview with a Vampire. I
Interview with
like
a
I
Vampire.
said,
Yes.
I used to love dark things. Like I loved things that were like dark. Like I read all those Anne Rice books.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's dark.
All of them. I read
You
them
read
all.
you've read all of
And
Anne Rice's. Oh my god. You don't have
he
nightmares?
did. I know. I read the Vampire Chronicles. It's not that scary. I think it's kind of beautiful and fascinating. Vampires are like they have that kind of like sad romantic, and it's like historical, and they have like these like codependent relationships with each other. I wanted to tell you that sometimes I feel like our friendship is codependent, and I want to thank you for that. I really appreciate it. That's what everybody wants, to be honest. Um,
Yeah, and we don't like I'm
laugh with
no
me.
joke. We don't hold back here. We're honest and straightforward, and it's important. Codependence, by the way, is a slow building tool and skill that you develop.
I'm
So,
being sarcastic, but like I at the same time like I do appreciate it. But I was saying that the vampires they're
oh,
very codependent, and there's something kind of like cute about it. Like
oh, I
they're
completely misread
vampires
that
are
whole entire
siblings.
situation. Yeah.
No, vampires are siblings without being siblings. You know, like they become like life companions, but they're in a different. They're tied together in a way that's
Yeah, but
kind of like
Louis
family.
Yeah, but Louis was just such a different character because he was so strong and like willing that he just reached a point because he was around for so long that he just just didn't give a fuck anymore, but was still focused on a mission. I love that movie. I would totally watch that again. It was so
I
fucking good. It
I think
was
what's
so
special
good.
about Louis is that he still had compassion for human
Mm-hmm.
beings.
He was still kind and understanding.
He like yeah, he that's what I mean that's what the story was about, was like this vampire that like kind of doesn't want to be a vampire. And I mean a lot of the vampires that were turned into vampires didn't want to be in the stories that Anne Rice told. They were usually upset once they realized what had happened to them, that they had been turned into a vampire. Then again, you have characters that are, begging to be turned. So it's interesting to think, like, would you like it? I really do think that science is is like trying to figure out how to make us not die. Um, but I mean, you'd have to figure out cancer. I wonder if like they could make us live like a shit ton longer, but like if cancer would like still eventually kill you,
I just love
you
the
know?
idea, like with Anne Rice, of a vampire is a corpse. So the person is dead. That's why they never age, they never change. It's a corpse. And what happens is like this vampire possession, this like demonic possession, like takes hold of this corpse. And now it seems alive. And
Well,
it
it's got a blood. Blood is running through it.
correct. And that's what's keeping
So
it. But it's still a corpse. Like even in the movie, I remember like saying that they become their corpses. Because like
yeah, I never thought about it that way. I mean, there's a lot of different. No, I mean, I wonder if she uses those words or explains their bodies that way in
well,
the
look what happens
books.
when they don't have blood. They become basically a corpse because that's what they are. They're a
They're like all
corpse.
like dried out, but then they can
Yeah,
like still they can regenerate again.
correct. But it
Yeah.
still doesn't take away to the fact of what they are. And it makes sense of why they don't age, right? Why don't they age or change? Well, because they're dead. They're not alive. That's why
They
you
kind
can't.
of like age a little bit when they're like deprived of food. It's not like age, but it's
Right.
like they kind of like show they look
Dehydration.
rough.
Yeah. They're not
They
as
look
like
rough.
fresh, you
They're
know?
also not real. Yeah, but
Well, it doesn't matter. It's so fun to talk about. Like vampires and werewolves. I love this shit. I always loved this shit, even when I was a kid. We know it's not real, but who
I mean, it's a good
cares?
thing that they're not.
Yeah.
We wouldn't love it
No,
if
we
it
would not love it.
was
No.
real.
No, a lot of people would be
So
dead right now.
the fantasy of it is really fun.
Forget about cocaine beer. Imagine just vampires.
David and I, we wanted to. Last night, I started making a list of the things that we want to do. Once
When we
we
actually meet in person and like physically can see each other on a day-to-day basis.
and when we have like money and we can like
Mm-hmm.
do things.
Yes.
Watching
Hawaii. Cocaine Bear.
Hawaii.
Yes.
I made a list on my computer
Disney
of
World.
like.
Disney World's another one.
I think we were gonna go camping. Yeah, good times, good times.
I told you.
I
I told you my I want to eventually, when I have money, I want to buy another VW camper. But I'm gonna resto mod the shit out of it. I'm gonna soundproof the fuck out of it, put a beautiful interior, and I'm gonna make it electric. I'm gonna put it in a Tesla engine. So no, I'm like, because like it will be so great because you can just take it camping, you can plug it in, it charges the vehicle, and you get power. Um,
not
that's
all camping sites have like something that would charge a
so that
Tesla.
we go to ones we can charge a Tesla. We go to the boot camps, okay? The ones that like they like basically it looks like the wilderness, but they pre-planned all of the trees and the spots, so
Okay, I
everything is
forget
like
the.
forget the
Okay,
camping.
this
Yes,
whole fantasy takes
it's,
place in a world where we have money, anyways. So okay, fine. Um,
maybe it's this
I
world.
was
Dum dum dum.
I was gonna
Yes.
tell you about 420.
Ooh,
Um,
we did
yes,
420 for the podcast. We did
I had
420.
a good 420. You did a
Yes.
420? Did you do a
We
podcast on 420?
no, I did a little clip which nobody watched, but that's okay.
Oh, no one watched our you motherfuckers.
Well, we want to turn that into a t-shirt eventually down the road. But you got to tell everybody, okay, this is crazy. Karissa went to the wheat store like we early in the morning,
I
like
woke
8
up,
o'clock.
well, because I can't sleep.
Arr. Right,
I can't sleep. I
right.
wake up at 7 in the morning all the
Right.
time and I
Damn.
don't feel like good enough to like do anything, but like I can't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so I literally was just out of weed. And so I just went to the pot store, not knowing that the first 50 people at the pot store would get like a gift bag.
Right.
and you could like enter these like raffles, and there was like balloons, and they like made a really big deal out of it, and like whatever else. They gave me a free t-shirt. They gave me 2 free joints, a whole like pack of edibles. And then they gave me this bag. Did I ever show this to you? It's cannabis infused turkey gravy. So, in theory, you could like eat it in front of your family and like they wouldn't know. Um,
I've had cannabis infused jerky that was homemade. It's the
that sounds
fucking shit.
cool.
It's the fucking
That,
shit.
it's the fucking shit.
It's so good because what it does is, you ever have like a steak that's been cooked with rosemary?
Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of like that because rosemary has like those like fruity notes. When you add cannabis to it, it does kind of the same shit. So like it's a different flavor. It's like you get like teriyaki, then original, and then pepper, and then there's the cannabis flavored one, and it's expensive. It's expensive, but
Jerky is not cheap.
anymore, I
Okay,
know.
this look at how
Ooh,
big this is. This is the edibles that they gave me.
wow. What are those?
It says that it is P&B Kitchen. See?
B&B.
And it says that it's cannabis infused guava passion fruit gummies. They're
Ooh, how
part CBD and part THC.
much
There's like
CBD?
a billion of them in here, 5 by 5. So they're like 10 grams altogether, but it's 5 by 5. That's what I like, is when they're half and half, like
Yeah,
half CBD, half THC. I've been
which is
eating like two at a time, like all the time, and I really needed this because I've been so stressed.
it's really great. CBD is it's great for stress relief. It helps with cognitive function. There's a lot of benefits with THC, but the truth is there needs to be more focus on the other compounds as well, like the terpenes that come out of cannabis. That's something that's very important to know. Terpenes are like the specks that give cannabis its color. You ever wonder like what those white flakes or gold flakes or blue spots are? That's terpenes. And those are the different things that make cannabis like anti-anxiety, depressant, helps give you energy. There's so much more that can be beneficial that people don't know about. Like even with CBD, there's CBN, there's CBG.
Maybe in the summer I'll read a weed book. I'm not an expert on
Um,
how
hello,
weed
hello.
scientifically works. I'm an expert on how weed affects me. You read the cannabis book.
Okay,
Good job.
considering cannabis by David Putfin. I don't know. This interview is going to be coming out soon, but good read. So we're a cannabis podcast here. So if you like want to learn more and you like want to understand more about cannabis and your consumption of it, this is a definitely good read to check out. So this is on Amazon, by the way. So just considering cannabis, put in the Amazon search bar and it'll pop right up.
I'm such a little shit. I don't really want to understand. I just like smoking the shit.
Okay, so the thing is, it's about
No response. David's just like, fuck you, Chris.
no. I hear
Okay,
you, and
go on. It's about. Sorry.
you realize that there are ways of making your cannabis consumption better. So there are people that will always smoke, but they never take in consideration that they can be doing edibles or possibly shatter, like dabs, and that might be a better high for them. And it's less work than a joint. They don't have to deal with the ashes and the ashtray and
Oh
the
yeah.
harshness in the throat. So the considering
Yeah.
cannabis, what I love
Yeah.
about what David Putfin did here was create an understanding of like, hey, I'm not trying to make it complicated, but bro, there's something else you could try that might actually be better for you. So,
Oh yeah, I know there's a lot of reasons why people can't smoke it and they need it in
mm-hmm.
different ways.
Yes.
Um I don't know, dude. I went to the pot store
Hmm.
and there was like this line. Like I like got there at 8 in the morning, and there's like a fucking line.
I know you told me this, and I wish you were number 49th. God damn it.
The first 50 people got these gift bags, and like I got it, and it was amazing. I told you I got the two joints. One joint was a hybrid, and the other joint was like some like house weed of like another brand. They were incredible. I smoked both of them, one before work, one after. Way before work, so that I was okay. I heard people are like taking work off. Did you know 30% of people took work off for 420? And it's like, why can't you just smoke when you get home? Like, that's what I did. I still have to work. Like, just smoke when you're not working. You don't work 12 hours, do you? I mean, a lot of people don't work 12 hours. I was
I
surprised that that
I
many
don't
people
need
feel they need
to
to take the entire day. Like, I'm like,
remember.
really? Like,
Well, remember, every single person is going to have a certain amount that they need daily. Like for me, it's usually about a gram and a half. I need about a gram and a half a day. Some a little less. Um,
no, did you hear me? I said 30% of people took work off the whole day.
you don't necessarily. I get that, but I'm one of those people that will not. I need to work, so I
I
will
need to
enjoy my
work.
420.
Yeah.
I will enjoy my 420 when I get home, which I did. I had a joint. I jammed out with my guitar. That's what I did, and I had a great time.
Yeah, in the morning I just like I smoked, and I just like I mean, it was kind of funny. Everybody at the pot store, they like were kind of making friends with each other because we're all like waiting to go through the line. I got home and I started like smoking and just like laying there looking at like TikTok videos and shit, and I ran into like just I've gotten obsessed with watching chiropractor videos on
I
my
love
TikTok.
those. Yes, they're fun. You hear the
Oh
crack,
my
the snap.
god,
I need to go to
crack,
good.
crack.
I need to go to a chiropractor. Oh,
I
my
love watching
back.
people get adjusted now. It's like crazy. Like I'm
It's
like,
amazing.
and then like a lot of the people on TikTok are like in California, like some of the biggest accounts, and I'm like, fuck, I could like drive down there and get like the adjustment that I'm watching.
I would love to
I've got
bring a
to.
chiropractor onto the podcast.
We should
Uh,
message this one chiropractor that I really like and be
we
like, "Will you come
should.
on our podcast?"
I would love to, and it's such a great. It's the same thing like with an orthopedic. I always say like orthopedics, optometrists. These are the doctors that a urologist. These are doctors that like people are like ugh, but they're so important. Uh, Orthopedics takes care of your knees, your legs, your shoulders. You know, if you have any problems with your muscles or anything that happens with your bones, and optometrists. Listen, honey, I like to see. You know, they're important to have around. I need my glasses.
Optometry is not exactly like chiropractic where
No, it's
people,
not. But these are
yeah.
practices that are beneficial for everyday life. It really is because people forget like chiropractors. You know, we don't realize our muscles move around. Our joints get misplaced sometimes. Sometimes we just need an adjustment. You know, we need a massage or something. But um, yeah,
I'm
I'm a
like trying to figure out what
big
it
advocate.
says about. Oh, go on. Sorry.
No, I'm just like um I'm a big advocate for chiropractors. The only thing I always say is do your research. Unfortunately, there's a lot of uh swindlers out there. So thankfully we've got reviews. Just throwing that out there. Just do your research.
I was trying to see like how popular this chiropractor was, that, like if he would like ever come on he's like really popular. So
Okay,
like
look, I've had some really
chances are low.
I've had some really I've had some big people that have been on the podcast. So it was not going to be a first time. And the thing about us is this. Even though we're small, we represent something that is so important. I feel for myself, and you know, you can speak for yourself as well, is I am so tired of scripts and monologues and fucking teleprompters and all of this bullshit. For once, can we just sit down and just talk like real people? You make a mistake, somebody tells you fuck you or whatever the shit may be. It's so easy to just open communication. It's not hard. It's okay to admit that you're wrong. It's okay to learn more about something, and I feel like this is my goal, and this is what I'm focused on steadily.
Sometimes it's okay just to talk about what your week was like. You made a depression cake.
Which was delicious. It was I wanted I and this is something that's important. One thing I've noticed, especially about like recipes from the Great Depression, these people were being creative. The food is not gross. There's some really great recipes you can get out of the Great Depression. Because people were being resourceful. People were using the best of what they had to survive. And we forget that. We forget that about us is that we don't need always everything. Sometimes all we need is to bring ourselves together and have a celebration, make something, like a chocolate cake for a birthday.
Oh, I hope the Great Depression time doesn't last forever.
Now, well, we're going to be entering the Great Reset in the next few years. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a great IMAX special with, of course, hosted by Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I already don't get to see the Mario movie in theaters because I'm so poor. And I
Will it be on
just,
HBO Max?
I live in my own Great Depression.
Will it be on HBO Max? I'm going to check. If it's on HBO Max, honey, what I'll do is I'll let you log in to my account.
I'm still trying to figure out if I can go. I need to pay my rent and I'm worried about rent next month and I'm
Me
supposed to go
too.
to goth night and it's just all getting kind of difficult. But I'm happy that they gave me a bunch of free stuff at the pot store. That was very cool. I mean, overall, not the worst. Just, that's the thing is kind of just making shit work, like making a depression cake, just get by, just make it work. I don't know.
I, that this is the thing that cannabis has taught me so much is being able to just appreciate the moment, appreciate what you have and what you don't have. Sorry, instead of what you don't have, and you we sometimes get so caught in our heads. We sometimes get so um adrift because of all the pressure and the obligations that are required upon us. And sometimes it's so great to just be able to take a break, be able to
Uh,
allow your mind to clear itself, and not just THC. Again, I'm going to say this. Sometimes you don't need the THC. Sometimes you just need the CBD. And that's good. You don't have to always get high. Sometimes there are other things that are beneficial, and again, I'm an advocate of just gather the information, learn, do your research. Sorry if I'm sounding like a journalist, but that's what you need to do.
Whatever. But yeah, it's different for everybody.
Of
I try not
course.
to talk about everybody or try and
No, I'm talking about with my own personal experiences.
yeah.
I'm saying from my own perspective, but I totally get your point.
It's been a good week. I watched this TikTok video.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There's this girl
Mm-hmm.
that is pretty famous on TikTok right now. She just released a book.
Oh,
Um and she is an athlete and she just TikToks like crazy.
what
She
sport?
posts. She's a runner. She goes to
Oh,
Have you seen this person on TikTok? I don't know
no.
what her name is. She's a runner. She goes to Duke. She released this book. She's just blowing up right now. And I found her randomly just like scrolling through videos, and she just looks so fucking exhausted and overran. Like, I mean, she's doing the best she can, and everybody should be really proud of her. Like, I'm not like saying anything bad about her, like whatever. She's an amazingly accomplished person. Like, great, like she works really hard, okay? But like, I watch these videos of this person and it is very scary to me, because I kind of like try to think of like somebody who has this much asked of them, and I can relate to it a lot. Like, I see her, it's like every moment she's doing something, she's moving on to the next thing that she's doing. It was like every time she was filming something, she's like, okay, I have to go because I need to go do this. Like, and it was just like, how the
The
fuck
hustle.
does this girl
It's the
have
hustle.
time to make these videos even?
How do
And
you think
like,
I do? How do you think I do it? Sometimes
I
I
have
don't have
no,
any.
it's just like crazy. I'm like, no, I don't have the time to document going from one place to another, because I'm just like fucking going. Anyways, this girl gets
Right.
this rat's nest in her hair, and the rat's nest, she can't get it out. And like, I'm just thinking like, it's because she's just go, 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 go. Like, if you don't
What
have time,
What do you mean by rat's nest? Like an actual nest full of rats?
like, no, like a motherfucking dreadlock. Like, she had like three different tangles
Oh,
that
that's what you
tangled
mean.
into like a dreadlock that was like on the side of her hair.
Okay, yeah.
And this dreadlock became like a 20 segment video where she did like 20 videos, and it was like part 1, part 2, part 3 of the story of this dreadlock in her hair, and how she's like going to people and trying to get it out and like whatever else. And like, I feel like this just kind of happened, or maybe it didn't, or whatever else. She has a huge fan following. I could have gotten this dreadlock out of her hair for her, but she's like all the way on the other side of the country. But she spent 12 days and 20 TikTok videos talking about getting this dreadlock out of her hair. In meantime, she's running like 70 miles a week and going to college and taking exams. And like, I'm just watching this and kind of thinking about like my life and how hard it is to take care of like my hair. And like, I'm this whole watching this TikTok video like threw my mind through like a fucking loop. And I could brush this girl's hair out too, was like another like,
I
she's just
literally
living with this dread, like day after day, still running miles and taking tests. Like, I'm like, this is, somebody needs to let her have a second. Like,
I I had a conversation today with Wally, which is my neighbor. Sorry. Wally, which is my neighbor, his sister, Della. And she's like, "Oh, who did your hair?" And I'm like, "I did it myself. Like, I dye my hair myself. I bleach it myself. Take care of it myself." And the reason being is like, it's not because I don't trust professionals. It's just personally, I don't have the money, and I know that
yeah.
I could do it myself. You know what I mean? Like, I totally get that feeling of like, "Oh my god, I could totally take care of this," because like the whole idea of being um a self-successful human being, a person that you're like successful in what you're doing and you're going after your goals, is like also being able to know how to take care of yourself, right?
She does. I mean, she takes good care of herself. She's basically got a book written about how to
Taking
like care, like how to feed yourself as an athlete and care for yourself nutritionally. But then she's got this dreadlock in her hair, and she tells all of the world about it via TikTok. And again, I'm not talking shit about the girl. I'm just saying like,
neither am I hope
it
not.
no, I'm not saying anything poor, and I feel really bad, and I would have loved to brush her hair out myself, but I think that people are pushed too hard. Like, and maybe she pushes herself, and like, I don't know. I was going through like the videos, and I start like seeing all this like motivational talk, I guess I'm just wondering, like, where is the line between keeping yourself motivated and just being abusive to yourself? You know, like there was like this one phrase that was like, and it kind of like rings in my mind this week and was kind of freaky. It was like, don't fall asleep with anything that you wouldn't be comfortable having undone if you died.
Well, that is deep.
And I was like, you know what? Like,
That is very deep. You know that. That's extremely deep.
I know. And it shook me a little. And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't think people need that type of pressure. Like, I understand, like, it's cool to be, like, motivated and, like, get shit done and stuff, but, like, that's also just, like, gross to an extent. Like, get some fucking sleep. Like, stop doing that to yourself. And I was like, if I did that, everything would be different. Like, I'd live a completely different life if I thought I was going to die when I slept. I wouldn't give a fuck about the dishes. You know, like, I'm like, what do you mean stuff undone if I died? You think I'd be dead? I was like, wait a second. Like, and then I started thinking about it. And I mean, I could make like a list of shit that I would need to get done before I died that I wouldn't want my parents to have to deal with. You know, I mean, that's a lot of shit to get done. Thinking about dying, leaving the earth. I'm like, you're not prepared for that if you're sitting around saying that motivated shit on a TikTok. Don't even fucking lie to me saying that you have everything done, that you'd be okay with dying when you go to sleep. You oh really? Yeah? Do you really have everything done? I don't believe you. I don't.
I didn't
So,
say any I didn't
not
say
you.
anything.
I'm saying like whoever wrote this video or like said this phrase, I'm like, that's not possible. Like, there's other things that you haven't done yet. Like,
The reality is that there's no such thing as finished business. Every single person will die with unfinished business. Every single person will leave this earth with some sort of unfinished or undone situation. And the reason is that we as human beings are imperfect creations. We evolve over millions and millions of years. And the reality is that just how society has changed and morphed and developed into what it is today, we as people can do as much as we can, and that's it. If you die, you die. To think about it that way is so unrealistic, it's so unhealthy, and in many ways can be so damaging. It really is, because you're setting yourself up for unrealistic expectations. You are never going to finish everything you want to in your life. It's reality.
I don't know. It's just like
It's not
I don't
possible.
know
It's not.
how.
Think about it. It's not possible. I can never
Okay,
finish all the
so
things I want to do in my life.
no, I'm on TikTok and somehow I fall into a loop
Oh
of
God.
videos
Oh
that's
God.
just about like
Oh my.
self-motivation and like hustle.
Dear
And
Lord.
I wonder if like TikTok's trying to inspire me to like get up and go, or what the fuck it is, or they just wanted to show me this girl's dreadlock because
Right.
I love watching like hair makeovers, like where
Mm-hmm.
people's hair is like really fucked and then they like brush it all out and like fix it up and like whatever else. And so maybe that's what this was all about, but I don't know. I watching people's like TikTok stories where they hustle and then they like prep all their meals and like, you know, like those TikToker people that are like, this is how to be like the best human possible. And they like do like everything like that they're supposed to. And they like work
I
out
love
every
those. I
morning and
love
like
those.
make all their little meals and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And I'm just like, you know, I don't know. It just is kind of mind blowing to me, this idea of this like overly productive human that's just like always doing the right thing. I mean, I just kind of like drag myself through everything that I'm supposed to do and be like, you can make it. We're here now. We're doing it. Like, I mean, maybe after you do it for a few years, you finally have like a little bit more like control over it and you can like finesse it or something. But I don't understand this like I don't know. I think like maybe if I had stayed in my old life, I would have like so much stability that I could be like a workout in the morning kind of person, but
There's a phrase
I have
from
to
a
work.
very it's a phrase from a very famous song. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. And it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll is such a it's such a great phrase because we've talked about this so many times. So
I
many
know, but you know that I don't think that hard work gets you anywhere.
No, it doesn't. But what I do believe is that if you do something that you love and you're passionate about and you commit to something that's important to you, that's all that matters. But what matters in the end of the day is are you doing what you can to take care of yourself?
Oh, I don't really
Oh God.
I don't really have any advice
Wow.
for anybody because I just don't think that anything really works for like everybody, you
I'm
know?
not saying for everybody. Like you keep on I feel like you keep on putting me this like in everybody box. I keep on saying this. I keep on saying it over and
Just
over
for
again.
you.
I'm explaining things from my perspective, the way that I understand things. You know, if you want to take my advice, be my guest. You don't have to. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying. That's it. All I'm doing is I'm just saying. Just saying. Just just saying.
Well, from my own personal experience, um, it doesn't exactly, I feel like
Mhm.
long term plans are probably where it's at. Having like a really big, long goal to like carry out. I feel like I climbed a ladder and like tried to get somewhere, but it didn't have like a definite like long term ending or like goal or something. Like it was just kind of like okay, like give it everything you have all the time, but it wasn't like give it everything you have all the time until I don't know. I mean, kind of like I was supposed to like get into the union, but I hustled so much as a makeup artist. Like I mean, I hustled fucking hard. And I did it for a long ass time. And I moved across the country and I saved money for it and I took all the shitty jobs and I worked for free and I moved my way up to demanding more money until I worked full time and I had a million connections and I did everything that I was supposed to do and it just went nowhere. And that's why I don't think that hard work accomplishes anything. You have to just keep working hard. And I feel like there's some misconception about life where it's like work really really hard until you get to a place where it's like better, and I have not experienced that. For people who have that, they should consider themselves, in a good place, because it's just been work, 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 work all the way through. For me, there is no like, oh, I worked so hard until I got, here and it finally paid off. Like I don't know what you're talking about. And I'll keep going, but then like after that, after I get the nursing degree, it's like I have to kind of work hard and get myself out of the hell that I've been in. So, I don't know. I have a really bitter kind of backstory about hard work.
We can tell.
I'm irritated about it
Mhm.
because I don't think that as hard as I've worked that I should be in the situation that I'm in. Um I like
We don't get
yeah.
to choose the situations that we're put in though.
I like my home. Like I like my apartment.
I do too.
Yeah.
We like our homes. We like our animals. Oh, uh, because we are reaching the end of
Time
the
to go.
experience. It really is time to go. Um, we were talking about producers. You remember the message you sent me?
I was
Let me
like, can we be producers now? I've always wanted to be a
um
producer.
I don't know what we're producing. I mean, I guess we're producing a show.
Yeah, I'm
If
a
you want
show
to even,
producer.
what did you send me? Oh my god, that looks so good. You send
What
me
is it?
random. You send me random. Carissa and I will be randomly scrolling on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, and then we'll think of each other, and then we'll just send each other the video that we watched. So all day, sometimes I'll get like little tings, like bing, and I'll check. I'm like, oh my god, it's a video from Carissa, and I'm like, this is
Oh,
so
that
cool.
chair.
Yes.
That cool ass chair that it looks like grass. I
Let me
love that
see.
chair.
Ooh, let me see this. I'm gonna be on my phone on the podcast.
We're both on
Yeah,
our phones on the podcast. I
let me
think people
see.
do that.
Ooh, this chair. What?
It looks like grass and like you can like sit in it and it'll like support
That is
you.
so
It
cool.
was
That's great.
a very cool, yeah.
Wow. Look at all this furniture. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot
Okay,
of cool shit in that video. Did you see the video that I sent you before it? That was like
on
the
Facebook?
nurse. Yeah, on
Yes, let me
Facebook.
see this.
And
She's suffocating him.
no, she's
No?
giving him pillows. She
Okay.
she like says all these things that she had to do. Like she went to all these different floors and like did all this shit. And the guy was like, "Are you on crack?" And she was like, "I am crack, motherfucker." It was so funny. I
Sometimes
love, yeah. TikTok gives me a whole bunch of like nurse stuff.
I'm sorry.
You don't
That
have
is
to, but
so.
it does. It shows me like a whole bunch of nurse stuff that's like really funny.
Do you know that nurses always love me because I always I always have this attitude where I have sincere respect for nurses, being polite. And when I go to physical therapy, one of the nurses there works in the front, and you just have to like realize, especially like with the school you're going through, it's so hard. Like these people are working their fucking butts off, and no disrespect, be nice to nurses, okay? They work really hard and they care a lot. Like they do a lot for their patients, and sometimes they just don't get enough credit. They don't.
Coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Coffee,
Keeps nurses
coffee.
alive. It does.
I'm ready, you know?
Yes. All right. So with that, if you've enjoyed this experience, of course you can smoke along if you're of age and in a state where it's legal. Hopefully one of these days it'll be legal all over the place. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And if you love Carissa as much as I do, you can find her at on Instagram at Carissa the Beautiful. She is a esthetician, fully licensed esthetician, makeup artist, candle maker, and pug lover. So be sure to check her out and send some love. And if you love the podcast and want to learn more, you can find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Lost in the Groove Pod. So with that, catch you in the next episode.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.